Are we gonna record this or no? Do we record this or no? The recorder? Oh, it's already recording. Okay, good. It's Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. It is 6:17 p.m. I want to welcome everybody to the City of Donna regular City Council meeting. I ask that we all join. Mike is going to lead us in invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Let's pray. God, thank you for enduring for us, Lord. Thank you for doing it safely. It's a blessing to everyone here, Lord. Ask a special blessing on the council, Lord. You be with them. You will give them your wisdom, Lord. They can put on their knowledge, Lord, and be able to look at the issues at hand with through all the angles to find the right answer. In Jesus, I pray. Amen. Yes.
Join us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Yes, sir. All members are present. We have a quorum.
Thank you. We go to letter D, mayoral recognition. Number 1, proclaiming November as Children's Grief Awareness Month and designating November 20th, 2025 as Children's Grief Awareness Day. There's a proclamation that I'll read. Proclamation Children's Grief Awareness Month and Day. Whereas countless children across the Rio Grande Valley experience the death of a loved one each year, and grief can profoundly impact their emotional, mental, and physical well being, often carrying lasting effects throughout their lives. And whereas many grieving children suffer in silence due to a lack of awareness and understanding about childhood grief, leading to feelings of isolation and disconnection. And whereas the Children's Bereavement Center, Rio Grande Valley, together with its community partners, serves as a vital source of comfort, counseling, and hope for children and families navigating the pain of loss. And whereas the 2025 national theme, Champions of Hope, honors those who uplift grieving children, caring individuals, families, and communities who provide strength and encouragement on their path toward healing. And whereas by recognizing November as Children's Grief Awareness Month and November 20th, 2025 as Children's Grief Awareness Day, the City of Donna seeks to raise awareness, inspire compassion, and promote a supportive environment for children facing loss. And whereas the City of Donna reaffirms its commitment to being a community of hope, understanding, and healing, ensuring that every grieving child feels seen, supported, and empowered. Now, therefore, I, David Moreno, Mayor of the City of Donna, do hereby proclaim the month of November 2025 as Children's Grief Awareness Month and November 2025 as Children's Grief Awareness Day in the City of Donna, and encourage all citizens, schools, businesses, and organizations to wear blue, participate in community activities, and stand as champions of hope for grieving children and their families. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Donna to be affixed this 4th day of November 2025. And here is the proclamation. Hi. You want to say a few words, introduce yourself, say a few words? Of course.
Yes, absolutely, actually. Do I have to say it on the mic or?
Yeah. Yes,
Mic?
please.
Okay. Let me. Is that good? Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much. My name is Noellen Yasos. I am the administrative manager for the Children's Bereavement Center, Rio Grande Valley. I want to thank you, Mayor and council members, for your meaningful proclamation recognizing November as Children's Grief Awareness Month and Children's Grief Awareness Day. Your leadership brings vital attention to an issue that impacts far more families than many realize. Across the United States, 1 in 11 children will experience the death of a parent or sibling by age 18. That over 6.4 million children nationwide. In Texas, that number is 1 in 13, representing 577,000 children statewide. Here in Hidalgo County, the need for awareness and support is even more urgent. 1 in 31 children in our county will experience the death of a parent or sibling by age 18. That represents 8,000 bereaved children, a number that more than doubles to 19,000 youth by age 25. When we pair these bereavement rates with the socioeconomic realities of the Rio Grande Valley, the picture becomes a little bit more concerning. 15.8% of children under 19 are uninsured, compared to 11.8% in Texas and 5.4% nationwide. 26.6% of our population lives below the poverty line, nearly double the Texas rate and more than twice the national rate. These disparities mean thousands of grieving children in Hidalgo County must navigate profound emotional trauma while also facing barriers to health care, financial stability, and mental health support. This is why the Children's Bereavement Center, Rio Grande Valley, remains committed to providing no cost grief support services for children, teens, and their families. We offer individual counseling and peer support groups, and we extend services to caregivers for as long as a child is enrolled, ensuring no family is ever turned away because of income, insurance status, or circumstance. In a region marked by high bereavement rates and significant economic hardships, free and accessible grief care is not only important, it is essential. We also warmly invite the entire community to join us for our candlelight vigil on November 20th at 6 o'clock, taking places simultaneously at our Harlingen and McAllen location. Please join us as we honor grieving children and families and stand united in compassion and support. Your proclamation this evening not only raises awareness, it strengthens our shared commitment to ensuring every grieving child in the RGV is seen, supported, and guided towards hope and healing. So, on behalf of the families we serve, thank you for recognizing this urgent need and for standing with us in our mission to support grieving children, youth, and their families on their healing journey. So, thank you.
Thank you for being here. I need to say that you're talking to a lot of educators here, and you're talking to, Mr. Lugo, who has a business, who's seen the impact that have that a loss of a loved one has on kids and so forth. So your work and what you do is invaluable to these kids. So truly appreciate you being here, and truly appreciate everything that you do for the kids of the communities everywhere.
Thank you so much, and we appreciate the continued support.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna and come up and take a picture. You wanna come up and take? Three, one, two, three. Another one. One, two, three. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very nice meeting you. Take care. We go to item number 2 on mayoral recognition. Recognition of October Employees of the Month. Mr. Pena.
Mayor, I'm proud to announce that we had some great um, employees of the month. This program is really taking off to increase morale, build a different culture here in the city. I'm very appreciative of those department heads that participated. I want to be clear, PD did not participate again this year or this month. But those that did participate, they announced their candidates and they were selected. One of the first ladies that I want to acknowledge she's been with the city for some time, gives us excellent, well, actually, both ladies, man, are really good. Mayor, you want to do the announcement?
Yes, we have Miss Irene Limon. And we have Miss Erica Sandoval Limon. No relation, I don't think. Yeah, no, but and I'll open it up to whomever else wants to talk. But I have personal knowledge, of course, of the work that these two young ladies do on a daily basis, each and every day for us here with the city. Thank you for the customer service that you go out there provide and the work that you do to better this city each and every day a little bit more. So thank you all for everything that you do.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ditto what the mayor said.
Thank you all very much. All you do.
Both of them at one time or one?
We can do one at a time. One at a time. Véngase, Miss Lamar.
One at a time and then both at the end.
I do need to announce. I know she's been here for quite a while, but this is actually her 40th year here with the city of Donna. So, she said she's not leaving until we name a hallway after her. You wanna hold it? 40 years. 40 years.
On the count, three, ready? On one, two, three. Yeah, one, two, three.
I just want to say they do have family here. Have a family.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, of course.
Where are they?
It's
Family numbers? There's one of them.
Go. Come on up. Come on up.
Yeah, y'all go in front with the family, sit behind me. Someone over? There you go. How you doing?
You're very front.
You all right? Good job.
Are you wanted somewhere?
No, but you're gonna be looking at the next possible.
There you go.
Okay, you never know.
Good.
Finally, when
Good?
Oh, she left. Cheese.
One, two, three. One, two, three. One more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Come and take a picture with you. Thank you.
Oh.
Did you count to 23?
Oh, so she was here 24. That's right. Give me 17. I'm sorry.
Come here. Are you confusing me with somebody or that? Straight to me. What's up, Grandpa? Come on.
Miss Erica Sandoval Limon, come on up. She brought her own cheer team, so there's a bus waiting for her.
Congratulations.
You don't want to get to your family?
Sure.
Hey, well, let's take a picture of that. I do need to say that she's become a vital part of our economic development corporation. You know, with the new executive director that we have, Jose Pro Castaneda, they've been doing a lot of amazing things out there for our community, and she's a integral part of what's happening out there. I hear it all the time, so thank you for everything that you do for our community. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Count of three on 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now family, can you come? Oh, hey, hey. Take one more. She forgot the. See.
I thought you were taking like imaginary. I know. Like, what is it? Okay. There you go.
Count 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Now family.
Come on up.
Come up. Come up. All of you come up. Hey, bring my roses. Somebody send me roses.
Hey, we all pitched in. That's real weird. How you doing?
Thank you. Hello. Out of the girls.
Y'all want to stand here in front?
Oh my kiddo. One more.
Stand right here in the middle.
Good job, Kidal.
Yes, my oldest. Two are my boys. I have 5. Yes, the one in maroon.
She's in kindergarten.
She's in 4.
Okay.
We have amazing employees. It's always great to recognize them. So, thank you, Mr. Pena, and thank you to the directors that participate in this. Counselor, any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor. With respect to items number 14 and 24, I'm going to ask that the council consider tabling them. Also, with respect to number 20, I'd ask that that be taken out of order and be addressed prior to any other item being taken. We just need a motion to that effect.
Okay, we need a motion to table, and then we need a motion to move.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take a motion to. We have a recommendation by council to table items 14 and 24. I need a motion for that. We got a motion by Commissioner Garza with a second by Commissioner Jackson. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion passes. We also need a motion to move item number 20 to regular items. I'll put it above number 5. We'll go through consent agenda first. I need a motion to move item number 20. We got a motion by Commissioner Jackson. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Lugo. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion passes. We go to consent agenda. We have items number 3 and item number 4. Any questions?
Yeah, I want to add a little bit to number 3, Mayor.
Okay.
So, I want to give kudos to our grant department for really going out there and exercising their skills and getting us monies. But I want to clear up any confusion, Mayor, council members. It's been brought up to my attention that maybe we're not giving our police department enough overtime. So what you're seeing here today is another $100,000 that puts us at approximately 570,000, almost 600,000. That is a much bigger and larger allocation when it comes to overtime that the PD has ever received. And this is happening under this administration. We've allocated an additional 100,000, raising that to 570,000. The previous 2024 fiscal year, 2023-2024 fiscal year, we spent about $465,000, equivalent to 11,800 hours of overtime. I'm pretty sure you guys can see how much more hours of overtime. So RPD continues to be funded. They have plenty of overtime, contrary to what's being told out there. And I want to be sure that the council knows that 570,000 for overtime is no, what they say, chump change, right? It's quite a bit of an allocation. Mayor, council, any questions when it comes to the allocation of overtime for the police department?
Thank you for clearing up that misinformation.
Thank you, Mayor.
Going out there. Appreciate it. Any questions to items number 3 and 4? If not, need a motion.
Motion to approve item 3 and 4.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lugo to approve consent agenda as is. We have a second by Commissioner Garza. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We go to regular items. We'll go to item number 20. Presentation on wastewater treatment plant project development and assessment findings by Javier Hinojosa Engineering. Mr. Peña.
Mayor, council, we invited the engineers on board with this project. Every month, if not every 2 months, we're going to be doing a very thorough, well, not thorough, but just an overview of where we're at with the project. Today here is Javier Ramirez along with Javier Hinojosa. We have our subcontracted engineers, Freeze and Nichols, providing a virtual presentation of their findings. And as this project evolves, that way the community and anybody that's out there seeing and has any questions where we're at with our wastewater treatment plant, they can log into our YouTube meetings that, by the way, very successful. A lot of views. But they can come in and they can see what the project and the development of this project is at. So, Javier?
Thank you, Mr. Peña. Good evening, Mayor, members of council. We've been working on the project, the design of the upgrades for your wastewater treatment plant as of a few months ago that we were awarded this project, and right away we initiated our efforts with the assessment of the condition of your existing wastewater treatment plant. And this evening, this presentation, you'll see the findings, the results of what our partners and ourselves, what we found. And this was done over, on site a few days by a few different levels of expertise in different areas that go into design of a wastewater plant, like electrical, structural, categories like that. And I think we have part of the team on. Are you guys on? And it should be Juan Bujanos, Ashley Bouillon, and Kendall King. They're part of the design team, experts in wastewater treatment.
You guys are there, you need to unmute yourself. Yeah, Juan's on right now.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, council members. Juan Bujanos, Accountant Director with Freeze and Nichols. And I have our project manager and lead design engineer, Ashley Beyond, with us, and our senior design engineer, Kendall King, with us as well. And Ashley will be going through the presentation on our evaluation. And so I'll let her get going.
Actually, we can't hear you. No.
Just can't hear. She's unmuted.
Okay, is that any better?
That's better,
Yes.
Ashley.
Okay, wonderful. Gotta love technology. I'll start over. I'm Ashley Beyond with Freeze and Nichols. I'll just be walking through our findings of the evaluation. Sort of the goal of the evaluation was to compare this wastewater treatment plant with what we know from previous record drawings and coordination with manufacturers of the existing equipment. And we compared that to the TCEQ regulations for sizing, different process units within the plant. So if you have any questions throughout this presentation, feel free to stop me. So just as an introduction, the City of Donna operates the Donna Wastewater Treatment Plant. It is classified as an extended aeration facility, which means sludge will hold in a tank, sludge being processed wastewater, for about 20 days as it aerates, adds air to treat it and reach distinct permit limits that are shown on the slide. During a new wastewater treatment plant expansion, permit limits are reevaluated by the TCEQ, although we are not expecting these permit limits to change, only the flows. The expansion will go to 2.8 million gallons per day on the average daily flow. And what we refer to as peak hour flows, which can be during rain events, rainwater will enter the sewer collection system through manholes, what we'll refer to as infiltration, and increase the flows of the wastewater treatment plant. And so that peak 2-hour flow is defined as the highest two hours of flow throughout a year. And that flow that will be permitted is expected to be 8.4 million gallons per day. So all that to say, the expansion will go to 2.8 million gallons per day, and the peak 2-hour flow will be 8.4 million gallons per day with these permit limits. As part of the evaluation, Friesen Nichols conducted what we call a Matterport scan. These are just two visuals from the scan itself. It is very similar to a real estate listing 3D walkthrough. If you're ever on Zillow or Redfin, you see the walkthroughs that you can walk through the plant. And I'll pause the presentation here to kind of show the wastewater treatment plant scan. The top plan view looks a little funky because how it works is our Matterport scan technician will go out there with a tripod and essentially take 360-degree photos in distinct places in the plant. And you can sort of see on different parts of the scan the shadow of the tripod, but the Matterport scan won't detect taws of trees, kind of these different little places along the plant. And so that's why it looks a little funky on the top. However, if you look to the different sections of the plant, very similar to a 3D walkthrough, you essentially can virtually walk through the wastewater treatment plant. This goes into different buildings. It can go up flights of stairs and is really valuable for evaluations. Saving effort in site visits, as if we didn't get a picture of something, we can refer back to this scan. And so using this information and record drawings and the TCEQ requirements, we conducted the evaluation. Looking at previous flows up to this point, the wastewater treatment plant has different thresholds for starting expansion. TCEQ requires that once a wastewater treatment plant will consistently hit 75% of its permitted capacity. So for example, the Donna wastewater treatment plant is currently permitted for 1.8 million gallons per day of average daily flow. 75% of that is 1.3, which is pretty precisely what the average daily flow is for the plant. Once that threshold is reached, TCEQ requires planning to begin for an expansion. And at 90%, the orange dotted line threshold, construction is required to commence of the expansion. Currently, the plant is at the 75% threshold, but not the 90%. So it is the perfect time to get started on planning the expansion of the plant. The current capacities based on each process unit, the unit of measurement, so million gallons per day usually, or just million gallons. The basis of design, different process units are required to account for different things. For example, the influent lift station, which brings in incoming wastewater from the collection system, is required to be prepared for the peak 2 hour or the maximum flow that the plant will get in a year. Whereas the aerated or the oxidation ditch or aeration basins here will only be sized for the average daily flow because its oxidation equipment is equipped to handle what we call maximum loadings or the maximum month of the higher concentrated wastewater. So the generally storm events will have lower concentrations because it's rainwater. It's generally a lot cleaner than higher flow wastewater events such as the Super Bowl. So that being said, this was sort of the evaluation, the flow basis of design, the re-rated capacity, what we'll need for the expansion, and its existing capacity. As you can see, every process unit, with the exception of the secondary clarifiers, is insufficient for the future expansion of the plant. And so now we'll go on to recommended improvements to mitigate each of these. So beginning with the influent lift station, like I said, this is bringing wastewater from the collection system and pumping it up to what we call the headworks. That is the combined screen and grit removal system as sort of the top or the first step of the treatment process. We're proposing to replace 2 of the 4 pumps and with 3,500 gallons per minute GPM pumps. Also, as part of this, you can see there's quite a bit of corrosion on the inside of what we call the wet well. So we are proposing to recoat the wet well to protect the concrete on the inside. Once we reach the headworks is comprised of a fine screen to screen out larger pieces of solids such as rags, wipes, anything coming into the plant that may compromise other parts of the process. Currently, the screen is sized for 7 million gallons per day. And so we're proposing a new screen to prepare for up to 10 million gallons per day. The next portion is the grit removal system. Grit is essentially sand that can reach the collection system through infiltration. And grit is very hard on pumps, and so it's recommended to remove it where possible. TCEQ does not require grit removal for processes that do not utilize anaerobic or without oxygen digestion. This is not the case at the current wastewater treatment plant. So to maintain what we call the hydraulic profile, or how high this water can build up, we're going to propose removing the grit removal system. Moving on to the next process unit is oxidation and aeration. Once the wastewater has been screened and the grit has been removed, in some cases, it moves to an aeration basin of some kind. Donna wastewater treatment plant specifically has brush rollers that stir up essentially the wastewater to provide oxygen transfer, and it moves around an oxidation ditch, sort of in what we call a racetrack configuration, and it moves circular to the next process step. The current aerators do not provide enough oxygen transfer for the proposed expansion flows and loadings. So we are proposing a replacement to what we call a disc aerator. The disc aeration portion provides better oxygen transfer and has a higher submergence. So it's deeper in the water than the existing brush rollers for the higher oxygen capacity. Additionally, part of these improvements will require transition from an extended aeration facility to conventional activated sludge. This transition is simply a change in the retention time of wastewater in the oxidation ditch from 20 days closer to 6 to 8 days. This changes the TCEQ requirements for storage capacity in the clarifiers, storage capacity in the oxidation basins, and is not less stringent, but easier to achieve in the lower solids retention times. So with those two improvements to the plant, we would be able to meet the proposed wastewater treatment flows for the expansion. In addition to the disc aerators, we considered a fine bubble diffuser shown in the picture here. It is essentially little fine bubbles, exactly what it sounds like, that water is fed or air is fed through these small discs and provides oxygen transfer that way. We considered this as an alternative. However, it was more expensive than the disc aerators. And we also, in removing the grit removal system, have higher maintenance requirements. It is expected that the grit will build up in the oxidation ditch, and typically in a disc aeration system, you'll be able to remove it while the basin is online through a process called dredging, scooping out grit, essentially. And that won't be doable for fine bubble diffusers because it will risk damage to the diffusers to do so. So all that being said, Friesen Nichols proposes the disc aerator systems. Moving on to clarifiers, once the wastewater has been aerated, it reaches the clarification step where sludge will fall to the bottom and cleaner, I think this was wastewater will come to the top, treated wastewater will come to the top and flow over these little V's you see, these little weirs. So the current plant has enough capacity in the existing clarifiers for the expansion with the conversion to conventional activated sludge that we discussed earlier. As you can see, the skimmer arm up at the top is partially submerged, and that is not exactly how it's designed. It seems there may be a hydraulic issue, as in a elevation difference, a small minor one between the three clarifiers that are existing. And so we will propose to verify the weir elevations and adjust any of the mechanisms as needed to rectify that. Next is the return activated sludge and waste activated sludge pump station. Return activated sludge. Currently, the wastewater treatment plant receives sludge from the bottom of the clarifier and flows to this combined wet well, and return activated sludge returns back to the headworks near the grit removal system to provide food for microorganisms to continue the wastewater process. The recommended RAS, as we call it, return activated sludge flow, is under designed for the current expansion, and we generally do not recommend a combined wet well like this for process control. So for the expansion, we're recommending a direct suction so that the pumps are able to move sludge directly from the clarifiers back to the headworks for process control. And then expansion of the waste activated sludge that is going to solids handling. Next is chlorine contact basin. This basin provides exactly what it sounds like, chlorine contact. Chlorine provides virus inactivation once the wastewater has been treated, but before it reaches the discharge point of the plant. So currently, chlorine gas is injected into what we call a splitter box, and the required contact time flows through this basin prior to the discharge point. The current chlorine contact basin is undersized for the expansion, and so to mitigate that, we're proposing a fourth channel. There's currently 3 channels. We will just add a fourth in the same size as the other 3 to increase the capacity to 8.95 million gallons per day. STCQ requires 20 minutes of contact time for the chlorine to ensure it effectively inactivates virus. Adding into that, chemical storage and chemical feed, we're proposing a new vacuum feed chlorine system to meet the needs of the expansion for disinfection. That will include chlorinators, regulators, and scales for the cylinders. And once the treated wastewater is disinfected and chlorinated, it becomes dechlorinated for safety of aquatic life and contact with people. So the wastewater treatment plant dechlorinates its wastewater prior to discharge. Currently, the wastewater treatment plant dechlorinates with sodium thiosulfate, a chemical in a typical chemical feed system. Friesen Nichols proposes to switch from sodium thiosulfate to a sodium bisulfite. For those that are not chemically inclined, that it's essentially just a chemical switch. Sodium bisulfite is a cheaper chemical by the pound and is chemically not more potent in like a safety sense, but more effective at dechlorination. And it is more effective to the point that no capital improvements will be needed for the dechlorination portion of the plant by making the chemical switch. Next is the solids handling portion. Currently, the plant utilizes a volute press that is capable of processing 75 gallons per minute of the waste activated sludge from the waste activated sludge pump station that was presented on already. This does not allow for operators to change waste activated sludge rates, which is a primary mechanism of process control. But F&I is proposing a waste activated sludge holding tank to allow operators to fill the tank. And if the solids handling facilities are down for whatever reason, or they're inoperable, need maintenance, the operator is still capable of wasting sludge, what we call it. And that's very valuable for process control, as that can control the solids retention time, the solids in the oxidation ditch, and essentially the effluent quality of the plant. So very critical portion of the process control is the waste ability. So we're proposing the ability to hold 4 to 5 days of sludge storage for the expansion, which comes out to 500,000 gallons. And we're proposing to replace the volute press with a belt filter press of the size to withstand the expanded and expected waste activated sludge. So the summary of those process units comes out to a total cost. We have a total cost for in 2025 dollars of 19.6 million. which includes all the recommended improvements that we discussed, the equipment and the installation thereof, a contingency for process unit connections, bypass pumping to facilitate the construction while keeping the plant online, mobilization, overhead, and profit of the contractor. And we also included a cost estimate for 2027 based on our projected schedule of the expansion. That is our slide deck. I'm ready for any and all questions, if there's any.
The current, well, two things: the aerators that we currently have, and the Ecton sludge machine that we have. Can we talk about those two items? Because those are items that the city recently invested in. So, are the aerators working, and is it sufficient for our current existing plant?
Did you get that, Ashley?
Yeah, it does seem to be a cyclical problem. Based on what we currently have, the aeration basin capacity I show is 1.2 million gallons per day, which is just under the average flow for the plant. That is partially because it's an extended aeration process, and so it has higher solids retention time within that basin, and it also has sort of a cyclical problem with the solids handling. Without the ability to waste quickly enough for the plant, your solids sort of start to build up, and it becomes more difficult for oxygen transfer equipment to do its job. And so solids begin to build up in the basin, which in turn makes it more difficult for oxygen transfer to occur. So it is a bit of a cyclical problem between wasting and with.
And
yeah, this is Kendall King. I'm the senior designer and senior advisor, and Ashley's right. And I think, maybe another way to say it is, it's really marginal. Even at your aeration oxygen transfer capacity is really marginal, even at the existing flows. And from the appearance of the plant at the times that we've been there, it appears that it's oxygen deficient, even with the supplemental aeration that you added. It just, it's neither of those, none of that equipment is really going to be of very much use in the future when we have to add another 1 million gallons per day of capacity. So I think the short answer is it appears to be really marginal even at the existing flows. And so we're going to have to upgrade that oxygen transfer equipment.
Thank you. City made a big investment about maybe 2 years ago on this. So I appreciate you with the input. Now let's talk about this Ecton sludge machine that we have there. Is this something that can be salvaged and incorporated into this next design, or is this something that's insufficient currently, and it'll probably be insufficient with the new design?
Go ahead, Kendall. It looks like you were.
It is inadequate even at the current flow right now, and I think that's reflected in the way the plant is operating. I don't think. Well, there's two contributing factors. One of them is the limited capacity of the dewatering equipment itself, the volute press, complicated by the way the operators have to waste sludge directly from the clarifiers. I mean, they're coming straight off of the clarifiers without any kind of intermediate holding. And so, the way I've described it, and this is not unusual that plants are designed this way, but it's always problematic, is if you don't have a tank to waste into, if all your sludge wasting is controlled by your dewatering process, it's really the tail wagging the dog. you really don't want your process control dependent on the sludge dewatering. You really want those two operations separate. And so if you've got a dewatering process that's marginal and no place to store sludge on a temporary basis, then if you get behind on dewatering, then it's going to impact your process. And the impact on the process is the solids start to accumulate in the aeration system. And then that impacts your oxygen transfer ability as well, because all of those solids exert an oxygen demand. And so if you've got way more solids in the basin than you need, then you have a hard time transferring enough oxygen. And then when you get behind, there's no way to catch up because your dewatering equipment is marginal and probably undersized. Even according to what we were told by the equipment supplier, really you've got less than 1 million gallons per day of dewatering capacity, and the plant's running at 1.3 million gallons per day. So you can see that press by itself is inadequate. We have choices. We could add another similar press to it, but it would have to be a much larger unit than the one that you've got. And so that's why and they're more expensive. And so that's why we've recommended that you replace it with a single belt press that has the capacity for the expansion. That equipment that you have out there now, you could salvage. You could leave it on site and use it as backup, or if you've got the opportunity to resell it, there is a pretty good market for resale of equipment, and so that may be an option as well. But it doesn't really look to us to be like a very wise path forward to try to incorporate that existing unit into the expansion.
Thank you, sir. At least on my behalf, that's the only questions that I had. Thank you for your input. Mayor, council, any questions?
Brief question on the cost, projected cost, and I think it was 2025. I think I saw 19.
Yes, sir.
Ni- 19
We got a
point.
4% per year inflation, so it puts us up at 22
Yeah, that, oh,
22
okay.
million.
So then for
27.
2027, this is projected cost 22 mil. Are we talking about in the event that we wait till 2027 to start, or what is the
Right.
difference in cost there, the projection?
Taking into consideration, Councilman, the time to finish the design, which is probably about 10 months away from today after this assessment, and then just going through your bidding process and all that, probably gets you to the end of next year, somewhere around there.
And the water development review process. The Water Development Board's going to have to look at all this too. TCEQ also has a review time that has to be built in. So yeah, all of those things take time.
And yeah, so we put all these things in the schedule. If anything, this would be, the longest we would extend it, but if anything, we're going to work to bring it, closer, right? The sooner the better. And we'll be discussing a few options as we go through the design of how you can probably get ahead of that schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to put everything out there how it is today with the schedules that Water Development Board has and TCQ. TCQ they tell you 90 to 100 days, so we put that in there. And Water Development Board has their process and stuck that in the schedule. With nothing being changed, that's what you would be looking at, right, to the end of somewhere towards the end of next year. But if anything, we're going to try and shorten that and get to the construction sooner.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? If not, this was a presentation only.
Yes, Mayor.
Yeah, it was just a presentation, Mayor, Council. Wanted to keep you, Mayor, Council, and the rest of the community and our viewers up to speed on the development of this project. I want to thank Friesen Nichols, along with Having a Wholesale Engineering Firm, for making themselves available and putting this presentation together. So thank you, sir, ma'am, for being part of this presentation and presenting today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we thank you for the opportunity to be working with you. We appreciate it, and we're excited about moving forward with this project. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. I need to apologize to the audience. I was so excited to talk about wastewater that I forgot consent agenda. So I'm sorry, I forgot citizen participation. Do we have anybody?
We do not, Mayor. Nobody's
Oh, nobody. Okay. So we go to item number. Are we going to present?
Yeah, if you want to move up, I think Ms. Monette.
We have a presentation also by Ms. Monette here. I need a motion to move her up. That way she can go home.
To move item 22, presentation on this one, up to item number 6.
Thank you. We have a motion by Commissioner Lugo.
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Garza. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. We go to item number 22, presentation by Monitech Communication Program. Mr. Pinion.
Yes, sir. Mayor invited Ms. Monette on behalf of Monette Communication. She's presented before, but she's here to present her findings. We brought her on board to help us evaluate our communication network and equipment. In the very beginning, how it started, upon doing my assessment with IT, we identified that number one, we had a lot of cell phones, more than the amount of people that we have here working for the city. And then secondly, that we had outdated communication systems. I think Ernest and anyone who's been in business, we know what it is to pay for these phones, especially those voice over IP. The cost was excessive, but we were very fortunate to bump into Miss Monette. She was highly recommended to us by the CFR, where she's done wonders. Her assessment, if you want to share with us our findings and our potential savings, today's strictly a presentation. Immediately after this, I'll be asking if the council so choose to, you, Mayor, that we'll move forward with the project. All it means is that if the council's interested in moving forward, then so be it. But off the bat, in her assessment, we're looking at saving a lot of money on just equipment alone, and we're looking at saving up to what 25-30,000 per year.
It's actually
You wanna-
$140,000 over the term. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Monette Garcia. Thank you for the short but concise introduction. So as Mr. Peña was saying, I did do an assessment of the city's overall communication and bills. And what I did do is I actually just focused on the telephony part because Mr. Estrada did reach out to me and I was recommended to him by the city of FAR, which we just implemented over 900 phones, maybe a year, going on a year, with a whole new software and a new voice over IP system, which is what they were looking for. So I'm a consultant. I have 30 years of experience, actually 3 decades. Just tells you how old I am. I did work with AT&T for 17, going on 18 years. And for the last 12 years, I've actually done this by myself. So what I do is it's a free service, and I just assess bills. So I'm only as good as what I get, right? So I received some bills from accounting, City of Donna. I know exactly what products are being billed. As I reviewed with Mr. Estrada, I let him know that you had a lot of old products, and I used to work with AT&T. So the background of their products, they're POTS lines, and they're trying to actually transfer their customers to digital products, right? But some customers, either they're not answering the phone or not doing the product change. With this said, you're currently, for 100 users in the city, you're currently spending over $5,000. So with a new voice over IP system, I actually worked with 475 vendors in the entire nation, and I have high vendors that offer great customer service, great pricing, and work with municipalities such as yourselves. They also have the E-rate pricing, so that means that you've already had the price negotiated prior to me coming to you. So a few companies have come aboard, but it's actually a 50% savings. What I also do is I negotiate on your behalf, not on theirs. I'm actually, on obviously the city of Donna. So what I do is I mitigate any kind of risk. I read the contracts. I look out for your best interest. I let you know what I would do in your shoes. So I do. We had a discussion the other day, and there's just consulting that I've been doing for over 30 years. I mean, we were talking about a product, the phone product, and he says I want to go with a Yealink product, and I said I personally would not go with Yealink. Yealink is actually from China. And we've been asked as a government entity to purchase American-made products. So I'm like, I personally would go with PolyEdge. So I don't make the decisions for you, but I do tell you what I personally would do and how to pick companies. So what I'll do is I'll give you multiple options. I'll show you demos so that you can see products and features. I'll explain to you all of my background with these particular vendors, their customer service, their white glove treatment. I enjoy customer service. A product is only as good as its customer service. If there's no good customer service, then there's no product, right? So I've vetted out these companies. I've shared them with Mr. Estrada. We have gone through several demos, and it's your guys' choice on who you pick. But there is a 50% savings. So there's a 36-month option and a 60-month option. There's no upfront fees, but there is savings. So I showed some numbers to Mr. Peña and Mr. Estrada, and so you can either buy a Rolls Royce or for a Fiat with the budget that you've expended out for telecommunications. But if it is the city's money, I would like to save it. I actually use your money like it's my money. So I've negotiated with these companies not to charge for shipping, phone upfront pricing, activation, training. Everything is free. They've even thrown in months free to support the transition of funds.
And I wanted to. I think I've talked to some of you.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I think I've talked to some of you in the past. One of the issues we face right now is our current phone system. That brand got bought out by another company, and they're sunsetting that phone system. So we need to look at moving to another phone system because of right now there is no support that I can call on if something happens to the phone system we have now. Right. So that's really why. That's kind of like the kickoff of why we kind of need to look at moving over to a different phone system right now. And that's where she did the city of FAR, Jose Peña over there. He's an IT director over there. And when I had asked, hey, what are you guys doing with your phone system? He brought her up and said, hey, you need to talk to this lady because she helped them. They were looking at a different phone system because they thought they needed all these features, and she was helping to get them down to. They think
just
they
a
saved,
reasonable cost. Yeah, they didn't need. I mean, what ends up happening is these companies, when they come directly to you, they upsell you. I mean, that's their, that's their bread and butter for their homes. That's how they feed their families. I don't really care who you go with. The provider at the very end of the day that you choose end up paying me. Yeah. So to me, I'm on your team. I want you to make the best decision, and I want to give you all the information so that you do make the best decision. And so I also we also discussed how the city of FAR had an issue, or actually not an issue, but the city of FAR was also extended. They had allocated over how much $150,000 for phones to purchase phones, and I was like, you're gonna get them free. Like, we're not paying anybody for phones. So what ends up happening is the providers know what I do, and they know that I'm vetting out your pricing for pricing all over the United States for vendors, and they know that they need to come with me with the lowest cost and the best cost. And I know what it's costing them to make a dollar. So it's just, what's fair is fair.
Are internet-based?
Yes, they're internet-based.
We're not doing that right now.
Right now we have it in-house. It's actually in the server's housed here, and it's a little cheaper because just the way it is. But it has become a beast to maintain.
Is it internet-based right now or not?
Right now we're not internet-based.
So do we plan to use fiber optics or anything like that?
So you currently do have fiber. I do also play in that role. I also do assessments for mobility, but we haven't gone down that.
Fiber optics.
I do.
I mean, your phone system should be tied into fiber optics if you have it.
We have it right now, Councilman. The one of the issues we are facing is we've kind of the museum became part of the city, right? We have some satellite places like the sewer plant, the water plant, and the bridge. Trying to get those integrated with the phone system. Right now, you have to. They're not connected,
right.
And it becomes another internet connection that you need, another type of a separate phone system you have to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
If we can do something like the cloud-based system, it becomes less less ownership. I mean, it costs less to own throughout the year, right?
Right.
And then it gets updated. There's all kinds of issues that may happen. Like right now, one of the issues we have was we get a lot of phone calls during water bill time, right? We could not upgrade our current system to do what they call a queue, where people can, I'm sure you've called support and they say, oh, you have 1 minute before someone can talk to you, or you just got the phone. Right now, there was 15 phone calls coming in 3 minutes. When you have 3 people who can answer the phone, they're working either at one of the 2 windows in the lobby or the drive-through. So that phone call, we get a lot of complaints that no phone calls, nobody's answering my phone call.
Yeah.
Well, that phone rings for 30 times before it hangs
Right.
up on them.
Yeah.
It may get to a voicemail, or they'll say, "Please hold." They'll put them down. They're not going to answer the third phone call that comes in. So that's kind of something that we're kind of right now. We can't do anything with our current phone system that we have
Right.
because they got bought out, and the other company is not
So
going
the phone system is that's one project. The phone system, you can come up with something like that and connect your museum, your different entities. You can tie them all under one umbrella. So how about the cell phones? So
With this particular voice over IP product, you can actually emulate your office phone on your cell phone. So it's an app. So say you have walked away from your office phone, you can still use your cell phone and it'll follow you from your office line. So if somebody called you there, it'll just know to follow you to your cell phone. So what we were talking about, Mr. Pena and I, was that you could also save money with your stipends. If you're extending stipends, $50, $60 to your city employees, you can actually lessen the stipend and then they can add the app for adding the app on their regular cell phone. That way they'll know every incoming call you can track. Because you'll have a portal where, there's AI included in this new presentation. I'm sure you've heard about artificial intelligence. There's AI receptionists, there's call queue centers. Sometimes you'll call Bank of America, like I was saying, they're like, oh, you've got a 15-minute hold, but you will take your number, we'll call you back. We can support that and do that at the city. There'll be a one call extension call from any phone to any phone in the city. There'll also be inbound and outbound call recording for any calls that you want to do recording. And then there's AI transcription on the calls. So all of that can be downloaded by anybody that is an admin on this. So there's so many.
What service? What kind of?
It's all included. It's all included in the price that I've.
There's different plans. There's some basic. There's some that are a little more. The one you're talking about seems like it's a little bit higher up there.
It's a little bit, but you guys are already spending so much
But
money,
yeah.
right? You guys are the budget is there. We're gonna cut the budget in
What
half.
are the fees?
I have there's no fees.
Oh, so how do you make your money?
So then we talked about this earlier. So there's 475 providers in the United States that offer all of this: fiber, backup LTE, firewalls. When you figure out the provider you want to go with, and I match you, they pay me.
Okay.
And I actually, and I told this to Mr. Estrada, I support implementation. I support all customer service. Anything that happens in the term of the contract, you can come back to me. I've got thousands of customers all over the nation. I support a lot of other cities. I saved City of Port Isabel almost $70,000 annually. City of Peñita saved them $60,000. Worked with City of La Jolla. I just did City of Alamo, saved them a bunch of money. I think I don't think there's a niche for what it is that I do, and I don't charge, and I probably should, but it's just something that I enjoy doing. I know about. I have experience in it, and there's savings for you.
I'm real familiar with what you're talking about.
Right,
We
good.
had a dinosaur system
Yes.
at one time. And every time we wanted to replace the phone, it was a special order. So now we're over on the only drawback with the internet, but I still recommend it is if
Voice over IP.
there's an outage.
If there's an outage,
then
right,
you're going to have an issue. But I think the benefits outweigh some of the disadvantages.
Outweighs. And I always support your system, and I always recommend a backup LTE. So if your main line goes down, you have something to back it up. And then if all else fails and there's a natural disaster, your cell phone will support the app, which will support your office number. So you'll still receive incoming and outgoing calls. So I create a Vizio more like a fail-proof situation to where you're never down.
Let me ask you one more question.
Sure.
So if they transfer the phone, say from the water department to somebody's cell phone, let's just say, when that call gets routed to that person's cell phone, will the caller know that that's somebody's cell phone?
Yes, the app will go up and say, no, they don't. Nobody will know.
Okay, so then the employee might say, you know what, give me a stipend. You don't know that it's my cell phone.
They don't know
They
it's right.
think you're still in the office, right?
And once you open the app and you call out from the app utilizing that particular application, it'll emulate your office number, so
Oh,
they don't
okay.
get your cell
That's
phone
pretty
number
cool.
either.
That's a good thing. So we can see where we can save a lot of money, offering an employee maybe a stipend.
I didn't add that savings
Uh,
into the cost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we talked about that.
But
Yeah.
maybe half the cost of owning a cell phone, you can give myself a stipend. So
And I will I will assist.
We'll know if they're not in their office.
Exactly.
We got logs.
I'll
Yeah.
assist with implementation. I'll also assist with canceling all your old products. So after the conversation with Mr. Estrada and we do all the implementation, then we move on to the accounting person because the accounting has her job. She pays the bills. That's all her job. Mike Estrada just makes sure that the internet and voice is all working properly. Those are their two jobs. Nobody's in the business to save anybody some money, right? I mean, that's just not your job. So I come in, I work with him, we do the implementation, and then I work with billing to make sure everything ceases and we have one bill. Right now you're dealing with 7 different bills.
So, Mayor, council member, this all started for 2 things. Number 1, vision in better customer service, and number 2, cost savings. And the cost savings really came down whenever I heard that we're not going to pay for equipment. And then I started asking her,
Nothing.
I walked in and we had over 200 mobile devices. That's a combination of cell phones and iPads. Mind you, we only had 60, 70 employees, which was a little mind boggling. But in doing so, I'm familiar with these type of programs. Obviously, county uses them. I've always said you don't need a cell phone if you're going to be away from your desk for maybe 2 hours. You just don't. But here in Donna, we do things differently, right? So I'm hopeful. Number 1, I want to instill good customer service. I think it's wrong for our stakeholders, our clients, our citizens to call and no one answers. I can't blame them. We have an antiquated system. So that's the reason I reached out to Mike and talking to Monette. I'm all about technology. Again, part of the vision is to have a call center where people can call and it's not fragmented the way it is. You got to call Parks and Recs, you got to call PD, you got to call wastewater. The idea here is number 1, to have a really good customer service platform where people can call, and every single one of our clients / citizens are going to get answered immediately, whether it's by a live person or an artificial intelligence secretary. If they don't like it, they can always click a button. It'll send them roll over to a live person to answer. Secondly, we're hopeful in building a customer relationship management database, right? Where every single one of our clients / citizens, call them clients because they really are clients, right? We'll have an understanding of when they called, what the issues were, so that it's not, oh, hey, what can I do for you? No, it's more like, Miss Gonzalez, I know you called the other day. You had a concern on this. We fixed it. Is everything all right? There's that more one-to-one relationship with our clients. Secondly, again, that everybody gets to answer. We have phone recordings. We have the ability to add an app to the employee's phone, costing or decreasing the cost that we have in mobile devices right now tremendously, right? But the other one, the big one, is just having recordings of clients. We've had citizens that, call and it's a two-way street, right? Sometimes our employees, they could use better customer service. Again, we listen to both sides, but with this, we're going to hold each and every single one of our employees accountable in that conversation. We'll
It
be able
tells
to
you.
backtrack. Yeah.
It tells you every extension that answers who hung up on who. So if someone says, well, they hung up on me, you can actually tell in the portal who hung up on who.
Yeah.
The duration of the call, if the call got heated, whose voice got heated first.
What about, texting? Do you have that feature? Can you
Texting. Oh, yeah. There's internal SMSing, which you can do
don't
amongst
you have
the
to get
city.
some kind of clearance or
We
something
will.
with, FCC and all
Right.
that kind of stuff?
I can do all the paperwork for you guys. You
You're
guys don't have to
familiar
worry
with
about
that?
anything. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Commissioner, we're going to the next level here. Donna.
We are. Donna's going to be in front of everybody else. for
Ultimately,
sure.
in line with us digitalizing all our ordinances and
Yeah.
documents, I'm hopeful that one day a person no longer needs to walk in City Hall unless he wants to go in and just say hello. They can handle conversations via Zoom. They can handle any transaction online. They can search things. They can even call our AI and say, hey, what's the ordinance for animal control? And the AI should be able to tell them, look, this is the ordinance. That is where Donna's headed to.
Yeah.
We're going from an antiquated time to a futuristic time. And it is my mission and vision to make this city one of the most technologically advanced cities. And we have the capability because we're at that level. We're not small and we're not that big enough.
Right.
So this is interesting. Again, today was just a presentation. Thank you, Ms. Monette.
Yes.
I wanted to come and just kind of show, express to her what her findings were. If the council so choose to, then the next item after this is to approve the project. Mind you, we're not approving vendors. We're not approving contracts. because we're not there yet.
Right.
Me and Monette and Mike, we're still talking about what product fits the vision,
Right.
right? So the understanding here is Monette's presentation followed by the approval of the project. That'll give us an opportunity to continue searching or discovery.
Doing all that.
And then hopefully the next couple of meetings or the next meeting, we have an idea of what we want. We're
Mhm.
just not 100%. I'm going to say we're like 99.9%
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But I'm hopeful that here the next meeting or so, we should have a really good understanding of what product we're going to go with. Mayor, Council, any questions for Ms. Monette?
Any
I'm on
questions?
board. I think it's, I didn't realize we had such an
Yeah,
archaic system.
archaic system.
But, yeah, I think, it sounds like.
The two strings in a can. I thought I was gonna get here with two strings in a can.
Yeah,
and
I
am
like
like,
the voice recordings are good
There.
because, you can also use it to, improve customer service.
For sure.
You know, every so often you can monitor a call and you can hear and then learn from it, you know?
Yes.
Not mention any names or anything,
No.
but just learn from it. So, but, you know, I think it's a great idea.
Supervisor.
I think we're long overdue as far as.
Long
I'm
overdue for
concerned.
sure. Yes. And I'm just really taking you from a flip phone to a smartphone. That's the way I describe it, right? You guys are going from something that you knew how to use, just the park and the, forward, soft forwards, but now it's more.
like a rotary.
Yeah, no. Now we're going to be more advanced.
Those are nice.
Yeah, those were nice. Okay. Does anybody have any question for me? Any other questions? No?
Well,
Tell
I
me.
love that you mentioned the word free.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm not going to let you pay for anything.
But I also want to make sure that
Uh-huh.
that the community knows. You know, I heard the word consultant as well.
Right.
So I want to make it clear that
Yes.
that you're not coming into the city of Donna as a consultant, and we're not paying you consultant
No,
fees.
there's
or anything
no
like that.
consulting fees. I will not. You will not get a bill from Moneta Consulting
Thank you.
ever.
I just want.
No, you're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Monette.
you.
Thank you.
After us, you can start charging.
There you go.
Mayor, that was a presentation item only. In light of that, I'd ask the council to commission, consider taking number 23 out of order to take a vote on that.
We need a motion. We have a recommendation by council to move 23 to discuss. Item number 23, got a motion by Commissioner Garza. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Moreno. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. 23, discussion possible action to approve project number FY 25-26 IT 004 Communication Phone System Replacement Program.
Make a motion to move forward.
We have a motion by Commissioner Garza.
I'll second.
We have a second by Commissioner Jackson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Thank you all. Ms. Garcia. Mr. Estrada, thank you.
I left some information, my website, all the customers that I support, recommendation letters, I mean, several things. So anything else you let me know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We have item number 5. Discussion possible action on committee member appointments to Historic Landmark Commission. Mr. Peña.
Yeah, Mayor, Council, as you're aware, a couple of meetings ago, we finalized the second reading to create the Historic Preservation Committee, right? This initiative is being led by Mr. Gabriel Osuna. He's one of Donna's own. The Preservation Committee will give us an opportunity to engage in preservation projects like, for example, the canning company next door, where anybody who has a facility or has a landmark that's been noted as historical will benefit from tax incentives and things like that. So today, there's been some names, some applicants, individuals that have showed interest. I'll read them. There's 4 individuals, but we're still lacking a 5th one. Okay. So the individuals that we had, number 1, Gabriel Osuna, he's a historical expert, also a graduate of Yale University, I believe. Juan Carmona is a local educator. Crystal Rodriguez is the City of Westlaco's museum director. And we also have Miss Elvira Tovar, our museum manager here, and also Miss Sandra Vicencio, local community member, who's here, by the way. Those are 5 interested individuals who meet the criteria for this landmark commission. Unless there's any other applicants, I have not been made aware of, or any other interested individuals.
Motion to approve that item, that recommendation, that list.
We get a motion by Commissioner Lugo to approve the list as stated. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Garza. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item number 6, discussion possible action on committee member appointments to Building and Standards Commission Board. Mr. Peña.
Yes, sir, Mayor. Again, this building commission was probably approved sooner than the landmark commission. This is an opportunity for us to come together as community and really clean up our city. And what do I mean by clean up our city? The building commission will have the ability and the authority through our city judge to fast track projects that require demolition. And what are those? Abandoned homes, uninhabitable homes, or anything like that. So the commission, the people that were recommended for this is a well-rounded committee, and it's people from this community with expertise and, more importantly, representation. The first individual that was recommended to be part of this, he's a representative of the school district, and it's important because the school district and city, we're in unison, right? We want to have a beautiful city that attracts community members that go to school. Fernando Castillo, the chairman of Donna ISD, was recommended to be on this committee. Another individual that was proposed and showed interest is Mr. Efrain Gomez. He's a local developer, and he's doing wonderful things, not just in Donna, but all over Hidalgo County. He's also the secretary, if not the vice chair, for the South Texas Builders Association, very active. We have another individual. He's also very familiar with the council. His name's Rolando Garza. He has a tremendous amount of experience when it comes to construction and maintenance. He's an ideal candidate who can guide us and guide this council, or more than anything, the committee. We also have Mr. Trey DeSiga. A lot of you guys know him as a banker for Greater State Bank. Again, brings a wealth of knowledge when it comes to realty, when it comes to homes and things like that. And last but not least, we have one of our local reps who unfortunately does not work for us. She works as a city planner for, I believe, the city of Peñitas or city of Palm View, one of those small towns in the west. But she is from Donna. She lives in Donna. Her name is Maria Cristina Garcia. When you think about a representative of the school district, a developer, a person with a lot of knowledge in construction, a banker, and a city planner, I think you guys have the right ingredients or the right personnel to make this city beautiful, right? So these are the citizens that have been recommended in the form of either emails or submitting an application of interest. Uh, any questions with that, Mayor, Council? Unless there's other names that. Unfortunately, we don't have the alternate members, but we can assign alternate members. Those would be 2 additional members. Counselor, do we have to do that, or we can bring the alternates for the next one?
You can bring the alternates to the next one, however the commission feels more comfortable.
Yeah, unless the council's got some alternate names,
How many do you have? Two extra?
we can add 2 extra individuals. You can appoint 2 extra individuals as alternates.
Can we approve these and then add the alternates
Yes,
at
you
a
can.
future meeting
We
along
would
with
have
the
to-
2 other members? Or?
Yes, sir, because we'd have to do alternates also for the preservation committee.
Okay. Well, I'm motion to approve the list and then add 2 additional members whenever that time arises, and also in addition to that, select alternate members as required.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lugo to approve the members as read off by City Manager. We have a second by Commissioner Garza. All in favor? Motion passes. Number 7, discussion possible action on resolution 2025-36, road closure for the City of Donna Christmas Parade. Mr. Peña.
Yes, sir. We ended up moving the Christmas parade to be in line with the Donna ISD. The superintendent gave us a call and we worked it out. Unfortunately, for us to be able to close the road with textile, we had to redo the item and refile the resolution. So this is expected to take place December 18th, at which the school district will release their students early to join us in the parade, which will lead to downtown, at which point we'll kick off evening at the square. So that's the reason we have it here, sir. Mayor, Council. Any questions?
Got a motion by Commissioner Garza. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Jackson. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. 8, discussion possible action on preliminary plat approval submitted by Nain Engineering LLC for La Villita Estates Number 4 subdivision located at the southeast intersection of Mile 10 North and North Victoria Road. Mr. Pena.
Yes, sir. This is another development happening on the north side of town. We don't foresee any issues with this development. We're asking for approval.
Is this ETJ or city limits?
So I just need to clarify if this is on the west side. If it's on the west side, it's on the ETJ. If it's on the east side, it's on city limits. I just, unfortunately, both of our planning individuals, one of them had she's a new mom, and the other one had an appointment, so they weren't able to be here. But we did discuss it. I unfortunately did not get you an actual. There is a map here, I think.
Because this would be on the east side of
Yeah.
493 because
Yes.
it's hitting
That's right here.
North Victoria Road.
Yeah.
Mile 10.
It's ETJ, yeah, it's Victoria Road and Mile 10.
I would make a motion to approve it preliminary.
We have a motion by Commissioner Garza. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Jackson. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Number 9, presentation by CG5 Architect on fire station upgrades. Mr. Pena.
Mayor, council, counselor, I got a message from Charlie Garcia. So Charlie Garcia was brought on board, and he's been doing some other projects for us here, CG5. We brought him on board
Bless
to
you.
do the renovations for the fire department. We've come to a consensus with the chief and the assistant chief and the rest of the firemen. Unfortunately, he texted me he was not going to be able to make it. However, he would have plans, at least a preliminary cost estimate, as early as tomorrow. It was going to be a simple presentation. And, Counselor, if it's okay, we're probably going to bring it back so that the mayor and the council and the community have an understanding of the improvements we're investing into our fire department.
This is a presentation item only.
It was just a
you can bring it
presentation,
another
yes.
time.
Do we need to table this or no? Or
Just no action this time.
All right, we go to there's no action on number 9. Do I need to take a motion on that?
No, sir. It was a presentation.
Thank you. Number 10, discussion possible action on approval of invoices from Texas Machine Shop for the repairs of rotor aerators at wastewater treatment plant. Mr. Pena.
Yes, Mayor, Council. A few months ago, I was made aware of an outstanding balance with a company by the name of South Texas or Texas Machine Shop. They were hired by the previous utility director, and they raked up a bill. Joe, what was the total bill? Because we paid a few invoices, right? But we decided to bring it to council and just pay the whole thing. Right. And so this is work that was done. You have more knowledge on this, Javier? I think they had asked you to see if we could present on it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi. Good evening, Mayor, council
evening.
members again. Yes, your utilities director couldn't be here. He had a family emergency. He was planning on being here, but we had assisted him and the department in reviewing the invoices a while back, and I personally met with the vendor, and we walked through the plant, and he showed us the equipment that he fixed, and we confirmed that he did do the work that was in his invoice. Just work happened. He fixed the aerators that we're going to replace now at the wastewater plant with the new project. But he just fixed them. It was required. They broke down, and it was valid. You needed to get that up and going because that's what puts oxygen in those tanks. So that was October of last year, and the invoice came in March, April of this year. Don't know why there was a delay, but I think it had to do some communication or miscommunication with the transitioning of directors and all that. but we sat with them and we met with them and we saw what they did, and they're back up and going. They're working right now. So they did do the work, and it's two invoice. I'm sorry.
Accounting department, you guys confirm that those invoices haven't been paid yet? Yes, sir.
Yeah, as far as them being paid, we don't.
They haven't been paid yet?
So the first thing we did, Commissioner, is again, you know, everything goes through the engineer, right? So we brought the engineer. We said, hey, double check this, especially because of the amount. I had questions. Why wasn't this passed through council? But I think it was on an emergency basis. I think the previous utility director was trying to develop a payment plan. Nonetheless, the work was done. It was confirmed. I had Javier Hinojosa and Javier Ramirez both, you know, as experts, say, double check that. They approved it. They sent it over to finance. We paid a couple of invoices, not a whole lot in the beginning, but then we put a stop to it. Obviously, we were very much wanting to make sure that we finished budget. Now that it's over, Joe and I agreed, so let's take it to council and let's just give them a briefing and get this covered.
What's
So,
the balance?
what's the balance right now, Joe? 20,000? 35,000. Oh yeah, 20 and 14.
20 and 14.
Yeah.
20
And
and
those
14.
are the aerators, are they functional? They're still working?
They're still working the brush ones, not
Not the other
not the other ones. Yes.
So the work has been confirmed. That we know, it was work that was needed. Again, for the engineers. So why it didn't come to the council previously, I wouldn't be able to tell you. That was before my time, council. But for your approval here today, is a remaining balance for Texas Machine Shop in the amount of 35,000.
Did it meet all, I guess, purchase procedures when we first, whoever did this? That's what I want to know if I'm going to pay.
The honest truth, Commissioner, is we're bringing it back. Is had this gone through the right procedures, we wouldn't be here. But again, why didn't they do that? We don't know. But the work was done. The staff confirmed it. We had the office staff, Janie Carrillo, who said the work was done. Again, I had to validate that. They did the work procedurally. Did they drop the ball? More than likely, sir. Even if it was done on an emergency basis, we would have still brought it back to court or council, and we would have just retroed the date, which I've done before, right? Why this didn't happen, I wouldn't know, sir. But I know I've spoken to the owners of this Texas Machine Shop because they've been urging us to pay for this. But again, Joe and I were in budget season. We said, hey, this is not budgeted. Now that we're past the budget, right? We finished. I said, let's bring it back.
Mr. Ramirez, are we okay improving something like this?
It's at your discretion. Certainly, I know. I had met with the city manager on this issue, and in order to have due diligence be done, I think he consulted with our engineers of record, and to make sure the homework was done, to make sure the work was actually done. I think there'd be an issue with respect to that. The fact that we're getting invoiced by this individual, the company, years later, I think we're still within limitations period. So it would be within your discretion to approve it tonight based on the findings and the recommendation of the city at this time. So yes.
Who's the owner, Mr. Peña, of the Texas Machine Shop?
I didn't get his name, but I got his number there. Yeah.
Can you go over how old is the invoice again?
This is last October, no?
The work was done. It's been over a year that the work was done. But the invoice came in around March or maybe even April.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was the only
So it's just
that
been
disconnected.
sitting there somewhere since April?
No, the invoice is actually dated April.
Yeah, April the 24th.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh.
I don't know if that's a second. I don't know if that's a second, third, fourth invoice, or if that's the first one.
So,
Okay.
Commissioner, if you see the backup, you'll see pictures from October 29, 2024, when the work was being done, right? And they have pictures there, picture taken by Jaime. So there is some type of, I don't know if you saw that on there, Mayor. They did have a system in place, at least this guy's. It recorded, I guess, GPS location, time, date. So the work got done. It got done, I guess, according to this, October 29, 2024.
Yes.
Is when the work was being done.
Yes.
And
It was done.
And again, Mayor, City Manager, Council, I'd recommend, based on the due diligence done by the city manager and the staff, I'd recommend the payment at this time.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Okay, motion to approve?
You get a motion by Commissioner Garza, to have a second by Commissioner Moreno. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Ramirez.
Thank
Discussion, number 11, discussion possible action to approve the purchase of 3 light-duty vehicles for Utilities Department from Water and Sewer FY 2025-2026 funds. Mr. Peña.
So, yes, Mayor, Council, the utility department, again, part of their budget, they had budgeted for 3 vehicles. Our utility director, Sotero, has been going out there. He was finally able to find a better deal. The total for 3 small, I guess, light-duty vehicles for utilities will be used for water meter readings and for other things that they use, but primarily for, I think, the water meter department. Again, we have antiquated water meters. We're still going out there. So for 3 Tacomas, I think the total cost is $114,833 with 85 cents. And I believe they've submitted their 3 different proposals from 3 different organizations. The one that they're going with is going to be with Bronzeville Toyota. They looked at Bird Ogden, Toyota, and Harlingen, no go. And I forgot who the third one was. So this was a better deal.
It's budgeted money?
Yes, sir.
Are they old vehicles? Or
No, they're brand new.
Or what are they? I mean, the ones you're using now.
Well, a combination, Commissioner. Remember, the solid waste program started, so it pulled assets from all departments. Right now that we're kind of stable and we've controlled the solid waste department moving forward, you have a combination of replacement and additions.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what this is, but I will tell you that they are short. They've been short vehicles since we walked in out there. They have some very old vehicles. I think one was from like 2000. Yeah, and so they make do with what they have, and we hold strong. But you know, at this point, they have the ability. So, yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Garza. We have a second by Commissioner Luo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. 12, discussion possible action on MOU between Donna ISD Community Service Texas ACE Program and the City of Donna. Mr. Peña.
Yes, sir. Again, this is another agreement between the city and this Texas ACE program. Attached for your review is the actual MOU. This MOU is from August 25th of this year through June 25th of 2026 between Donna Independent School District, Community Services Texas ACE Program, and the City of Donna. Are you guys familiar with the ACE program?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I know you guys are, but yeah, I don't know if somebody wants to explain. You probably know a little bit better than.
It's an after-school program, but my thing is, here they have City of Donna agrees to do. Are we already providing these services? Deliver ACE tutoring, fall, spring, summer, and all semesters. Provide SAT, ACT prep classes. Do we have that going on already at the rec center or with the City of Donna? I'm not too sure.
I'm not entirely privy to this one. Who put this one on, Mary? Who for the ACE Parks and Rec?
I'm sure they're happening, but I just don't know if it's year round or only during the summer when we have the summer program going on, or. No, it's just fine. I do want to make sure we're going to be fill out this agreement that we're providing these services that they're asking here. Provide teacher training. You know, I mean, I don't know. We're in the business of training teachers now.
Yeah, is Rico here? No.
He's not here.
Yeah, I don't have all the answers for this one,
Yeah,
Commissioner. I
like
apologize.
at the bottom part
Is
of
this a
it.
yearly thing? Have we done this before last year and stuff? So if we
It's not gonna be
ACE has
I
always
think we've
been
done it,
around,
but-
but I don't know if we've been
Yeah,
partnering with them.
and I'm not seeing any services checked out. I mean,
I don't either.
we
I do want to make sure that we're going to provide these services.
can we approve?
Can we hold on to
contingent,
this?
Or can we just table it and bring it back?
However council feels comfortable, certainly it can be
No action.
approved
Yeah.
pending.
Yeah, I apologize again. They slipped this one in, and I was hoping Rico would be here.
I would rather approve it and then just contingent on whatever we need to do that.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, because they need to be able to function. Yeah. So already the second 6 weeks, going on the third 6 weeks.
Yeah.
We don't know there's a cost associated with this.
I don't think so. I think Maybe they just want access to our buildings every once in a while.
Not to my knowledge, Commissioner,
Doesn't say we
but
can vote in 30
again,
days.
if that's okay, we'll do no action, bring it back. Much more.
Well, we could probably approve it, just make sure that we have these programs going on, or make that.
Yeah, just for Rico
Well,
to
Commissioner
clarify
Lugo
it.
asked if there's a cost, and again, I'm not entirely familiar with this. There's no cost?
Most of the time they hold them in their campuses. It's
Right.
only certain campuses. And they run from what 4:30 to about or whatever time to 6:30. It's like the old latchkey programs. That's all it is. It's for kids that parents can't pick them up right away at 3 o'clock. Usually elementary schools, and they go from there.
Well, I guess you know it's right. Nothing's checked off, so maybe we
Yeah,
don't
no.
have to provide those services.
No, I don't think there's anything we
So, yeah,
provide
let's go
other
ahead.
than maybe if they decide to use one of our buildings or the rec center or something like that, the library, whatever, then they'll have permission. MOU.
Provide after school.
What was that checked
Care.
off here? I just saw that. It says check services.
After school care, somebody's got to stay there with the kids.
Was well, the latchkey teachers should be there. They should follow them wherever it may be.
Council, based on Mayor, City Commissioners, based on the questions and more questions than answer, I'd suggest we have a meeting in 2 weeks. Perhaps we can have it on the November 18th meeting. Based on the timeline that I see in the MOU, I don't think the 2 week time frame will affect
Now,
us.
don't we have a general MOU with the school district anyway? Still run by the school district. Does the city have an MOU with the school district? An overall general MOU?
I am pretty sure we do,
I
sir.
think
The way we have one with county and
We
most of
do.
the cities for mutual aid and stuff like that. But I gotta look at the actual agreement, what we have in place. Be more than happy to follow up on that.
What table?
Table.
We can table it at this time.
Table?
Yes, sir.
Motion table.
We had a motion by Commissioner Jackson to table the item. Do you have a second? Second by Commissioner Lugo. All in favor? Aye, motion passes. 13, consideration possible action regarding proposed amendment number 5 to the interlocal lease agreement between the City of Donna and Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission for a 1-year term lease of Lot 14, Donna International Bridge subdivision. Mr. Peña?
Mayor, Council, I believe we discussed this in a previous board meeting with the bridge. It's the same thing. Yes, sir.
Motion to approve. We had a motion by Commissioner Moreno, a second by Commissioner Lugo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. 15, discussion possible action to evaluate 3 firms for construction, engineering, and inspection services from the City of Donna Pool of Engineers and select best qualified firm for Phase 2 Donna Rio Bravo International Bridge Construction Expansion Project. Mr. Peña?
Yes, sir, Mayor, council members, I want to reiterate what we discussed in the Bridgeport meeting. So we're splitting the services for this next phase of construction for the International Bridge. Our designers, so we're going to follow what's called the FHWA rule, where the design engineer is not the engineer who does the inspection of the work, right? You can't design and supervise your own design while it's in construction. So for transparency and fairness, we're going to break those tasks up. And so our RP, the hope is that we can negotiate an agreement with them to keep them on board as project managers while we outsource to a different engineering company the construction engineering and materials testing. Back in 2024, June, the city opened, I guess, received professional services packages for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 engineering firms. Of all these firms, I recognize quite a bit of these firms that do this type of work. What we're asking today is authority to engage, select 3 firms from here, put together a committee. One of them being myself, another director, and the engineer of record, Javier Hinojosa, so that we can evaluate, determine the best firm, and bring it back to council. And then at which point we would move forward and hopefully negotiate an agreement with them. So I wanted to reference, in case anyone has any questions, where we're pulling the engineers. Again, this was a very transparent procurement method that the city did a year and change ago. Most of these engineers are still very much in business, if not all of them, right? Just asking if we can go ahead and review and select. Mayor, Council, any questions?
If not, I need a motion.
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Garza. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Jackson. All in favor? Aye, motion passes. 16, discussion on final letting date as reflected on AFA for construction. Mr. Peña.
Yes, sir, Mayor, Council, once again, just to kind of state what was stated in the Bridge Board meeting. So the city of Donna is officially moving forward with construction. I want to be clear to all our viewers and our audience out there. The advanced funding agreement has been finalized with Department of Transportation with the state of Texas. We have a letting date. The letting date is January of 2026. Without this advanced funding agreement and a let date, we weren't able to move forward with construction and or any advertisement for construction companies. Without the donation and acceptance agreement that was finalized through GSA, CBP, and of course the city of Donna, we weren't able to get an advanced funding agreement with Texas or DOT, right? So now that the donation acceptance agreement has been finalized with GSA and CBP, that triggered a let date of January. We're hopeful we'd get it one sooner. Unfortunately, the process has been a little lengthier than what we thought. So the soonest that we can actually open up bids and start the construction process is January. But I wanted to make sure that the entire community of Donna knew that this is moving forward, regardless of what the misinformation and those individuals that are very much opposing this. This project is moving forward, working very well with our Mexican counterparts. The funding of the Mexican side of the bridge is moving forward. I'm excited for this project. So just thought I'd reiterate on this, Mayor, council members, and let the community know that, this is moving forward. Oh, and just so we got to the process really right, because everybody's asking when are we going to break ground. So we're hopeful that we start advertising in December. We plan on opening bids probably the first, if not second week of January. Once the engineers put that matrix together, again, this is through TxDOT. We have nothing to do with this, and I'm going to say that again. We have nothing to do with this process other than advertising, accepting, and transferring to TxDOT. TxDOT, along with our engineers, will do a matrix. Will identify who the best and lowest bidder is. Then from there, they'll send whoever the lowest bidder was. That company will be sent over to GSA and CBP for vetting process, right? When GSA and CBP vet that, which we're thinking it'll be April, we're thinking by the end of April, if not the 1st of May, we'll be scheduled for a groundbreaking, which will be a big one out there at the International Bridge. So that is a timeline. So we're looking either at the end of April or early May before we engage in construction. Mayor, Council, any questions?
If not, this was discussion only. Thank you, Mr. Peña. 17, discussion possible action on the approval for the payment of direct state costs for the following TxDOT project 0921-02-394 Donna International Bridge improvements. Mr. Peña.
Yes, sir. Mayor, Council, community. So everybody's got a cost, especially when you're working with a $65+ million project, right? Even the state has a cost to this, and what's the state's cost? Over $1 million, and these are administrative fees. I just want to be clear: there is a portion of the funds that are FHWA, which makes this an FHWA project, even though the community of Donna has forked up the majority of the cost for construction, right? But because it follows FHWA, TxDOT has to review all those submittals. So any design plans, any inspection reports, any pay applications that require reimbursement. In this case, we do. We have some monies there that we're going to get reimbursed on, right? They do have an administrative cost. The first payment that was issued by the city back in, I believe, 2022, when is the amount of 400 and something thousand. The second part of that payment is in the amount of 570,000, Joe? 570? 554. So before we cut the check, well, obviously we need to get approval from the mayor and the council here. And that's all we are, sir, just so we can cover the remaining balance for the state direct fees with the state of Texas.
Any questions? If not, I need a motion. Motion by Commissioner Garza. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Moreno. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. 18, presentation by MLG Protection Services Incorporated for Donna Rio Bravo International Bridge. Mr. Peña.
Mayor, council, I want to again reiterate what we spoke about during the bridge meeting, and I want to give our audience and those viewers that are here, and of course our audience, the reassurance that so we lost a few officers, nothing unusual. It's the same pattern. We had lost 16 officers from January 2024 to maybe about a month ago. We did add a few more officers that left. What we did in the meantime, because we recognized that we lacked staffing at the international bridges, we outsourced the security part of it, right? So we contacted Ansalduas Bridge, we contact Progreso Bridge, and we contacted the Hidalgo Bridge, all who told us they use their process is to use external security commission officers. The company that was recommended to us that does the services for them is MLG Protection Services. Coincidentally enough, the gentleman's name is Mando Garza, and he's from Donna, right? So he is a local. We engaged with him immediately, along with the team, Dr. Reina Maricela on Orlando, along with our CFO Joe Garcia. We evaluated the cost, and I'm happy to announce that it's at a much cheaper cost than what we pay our officers. So the cost for a commission officer is roughly $18.95 per hour. We're looking at 16-hour to 17-hour shifts because Donna PD continues to provide overnight watch at the International Bridge, right? But we did that so that we can pull our officers that we had at the International Bridge to man our city. And I want to be clear, our city was never left in a position where we had no officers. As a matter of fact, we have an overwhelming amount of investigators we actually pulled to patrol our cities. So while we appreciate the efforts of the police department and asking mutual aid, the city was never left without coverage, and we've always had coverage. I want to be clear about that, especially by doing this. So we engaged with MLG Security Services. They've taken on those services at the International Bridge. Nonetheless, we're shooting for long term, so we brought them in. We're hopeful they'd give a presentation. They weren't able to be here. Nonetheless, again, they've already serviced 3 different bridges. They're vetted by CBP. We are going to invite him to come back in the next meeting and introduce himself. Nonetheless, it's my understanding that he's very familiar with Donna. So, Mayor, Council, any questions? Again, we just started with this. When did they go live? Friday? Friday of last week, Dr. Reina? Yeah, and they're working well. We've done the handover or the transition between Donna PD and MOG Security. That's already happened. I'm happy to announce that they're providing security out there, and the bridge is secure, along with our city.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Booth. 18, that was presentation only. We go to 19, it's associated with that presentation. We go to 19, discussion possible action to enter into agreement with MLG Protection Services Incorporated for the Donna Rio Bravo International Bridge.
So, Mayor, Council, while we brought him in on an emergency basis, he has asked for at least a 1-year agreement with a 38-day out clause. What that means is that at any given time we want to get rid of the security service at the bridge, we can do so. However, I want to be clear, at $18.75, that's a whole lot better than $24.40 we're paying our current officers right now. I also want to be clear that we don't pay overtime, we don't pay fringe benefits or any of that 20 to 30% added cost to our public servants. So this is a good deal for Donna. This is a good deal for us. It takes away the burden on the police department. We outsource that. Our bridge continues to be covered and protected, as well as our city to be covered and protected. And again, Mayor, Council, we did this in the best interest of the city. We want to make sure that the city was covered at all times by patrol officers. So we exercised this. I exercised my authority. I brought them in on an emergency basis, but here for your approval, 1-year agreement, 30-day out clause at $18.95 for a commissioned officer. Right now, again, we're looking at 16 to 17 hours per day, but at any given point, we can convert that to a 24-hour shift and pull up back all of our officers, because really, we have an officer sitting there overnight on a bridge that's closed. So we have to evaluate that and see if that makes any financial sense to have a police officer just sitting there protecting nothing. We could probably outsource that to a non-commissioned security guard who can do the same.
Question.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, it sounds like a good deal. The only thing is, does this agreement have any kind of flexibility built in, or are we stuck with the staffing that you're talking about? I know we're able to increase that staffing if need be, correct?
Yes, sir.
But the minimum staffing requirements, are those black and white, something that we're are contractually obligated to follow? In other words, we're stuck paying $10,000, $9,000 something a month, right?
It's flexible, sir.
It's flexible depending on our needs or
The
what?
usage, yes, sir.
Okay.
The rate is fixed, $18.95 for a commission, which is with the weapon, and a non-commission was I can't remember the rate for
Okay.
non-commission.
I just what kind of flexibility do we have in a nutshell, Mr. Garcia?
16 hours per shift.
For 16 hours per shift is what we contracted.
That's
But
an absolute minimum or what?
well, that's what we agreed to at the moment.
Okay.
That was the need. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what if that number goes up or down? What if we don't, like, let's say we get more police officers on board? Can that number change, or are we stuck with that number?
No, I believe that we have a 30-day clause, so we can exit the contract. And if we get fully staffed on the PD side,
Mhm.
I believe that the anticipation is that we can get out of the
30 day
contract.
out, Mr.
Oh,
Peña?
absolutely.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
Mr. Garza, he's flexible. He did
Yeah.
call us. Say,
Yeah.
"Look, man, if you have an officer, you want to put him in there, we have to split the shift. We're okay with that."
Right.
He's a very flexible
Yeah.
guy. He's
Yeah.
just excited to be part of Donna.
Yeah, we're not stuck to the contract for long
Okay.
term.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a cost savings and something that allows us to staff, at this point.
Yeah.
But then, by the same token, it seems like it offers us flexibility to accommodate whether we decide to grow that police department a little bit or not.
True.
I don't know what the needs are at the bridge, but whether it makes more sense to have a police officer or a security guard, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's benefits either way, right? But flexibility. I think,
Flexibility, and the CM is looking
Yeah.
at those options with regards to maybe a hybrid between the PD and the security department. I think he's looking at different options on that, but it gives us the flexibility to take one way or the other for the
thank
for the short term. Kudos to the city manager for having reacted to that and gotten some kind of coverage on the bridge with the uncertainty we're facing.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
That's a good move. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. This is an action item, number 19. Yes, sir.
Motion to approve with legal looking over the contract to see what contingent of that.
Yes, sir.
I'll second it.
We got a motion by Commissioner Moreno. We have a second by Commissioner Jackson. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. 21, discussion, possible action on the pilot program MOU between City of Donna and Donna Housing Authority for the year 2024 tax year, for the year 2024 tax year. Mr. Peña.
Mayor, council, counselor, so we're still very much in the discovery. We jumped the gun on this one. We're hopeful we're gonna have an MOU agreement in place. We are meeting with McAllen Housing and a couple other housings to look at how they do things. But I'm gonna kindly ask, counselor, if we can table this or take a no action, bring it back in the next meeting. But we are working to the MOU, Mayor. I know you're the head of the housing authority. I want to give you the reassurance that Joe and I are working diligently on this. We do sincerely apologize. We were hopeful that we'd have it. Unfortunately, we didn't get it to you on time.
Got a motion by Commissioner Garza to table the item.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Moreno. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. That concludes city business. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Jackson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Liu. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Motion passes. It is 8:14. We stand adjourned. Thank you all.